In this video, I'm going to share an incredible secret to praying on time, every time. You can use this technique to achieve any noble pursuit, noble goal that you're going after, but it's an incredibly powerful one if your goal is to pray 5 times a day. And it's very simple. What you're going to do is enlist the help and the support of the Quran itself. I'm known as the Quran coach, not just because I help people in their Quran studies, but also because I show people how to turn the Quran into your own personal development manual. And the biggest secret is this, or one of the biggest secrets is this. If you want to pray 5 times a day, here's what you do. You read a good English translation of the Quran. You ought to be doing this as a regular practice. Anyway, a few minutes before you go to bed each night, just read a few pages, right? Read a few pages of the Quran each day, as you might have already as a spiritual practice, but this time, as you're reading it in English, what I'm going to encourage you to do is read the whole Quran, firstly, as if it's talking to you personally, and secondly, read it as if the call to action that it is giving you all the way through, in every page, with every warning, with every glad tiding, assume the whole thing is just encouraging you to work towards your goal. And in this case, it's just encouraging you to pray 5 times a day. So think about this for a minute. Every page of the Quran, it talks about have taqwa and be mindful. So I want you to assume it's saying pray more by being mindful, because the more you pray, the more it increases your taqwa, the more it increases your mindfulness. It will tell you to have sabr and resilience. On almost every page, it has these values, right? Sabr. Assume it's telling you to be resilient in keeping up your prayers. When it gives you glad tidings of paradise, assume this is the reward for keeping up your prayers. When it warns you of hell, assume this is what you're avoiding by keeping up your prayers. So literally everything that you're reading, take it as positive encouragement to achieve and work towards your goal. Very simple, but it completely changes the game. You're looking for motivation and all of that kind of stuff. Don't find it on YouTube. Don't just find it from random lectures. That is a thing that you can do, but the most powerful thing you can do is to start looking at the Quran itself as your advisor, as your personal coach, literally. And every day you're reading it, and just assume that the verses it's giving you are to nourish your soul and to give you little pointers. That's what they are. Ayat are signs pointing towards the truth. And because a lot of the Quran is about amilu salih, literally, take positive action, right? The Quran keeps repeating, amanu wa amilu salih, those who have faith and take positive action. So I want you to assume the positive action it's telling you to take is to pray 5 times a day. Now, of course, as you grow in your spiritual journey, you could replace prayer with, maybe you're trying to memorize the Quran, so assume that it's talking about that. Maybe later in your life, you'll be maybe you're overweight and you want to get back in shape. Assume that every call to action in the Quran is encouraging you to stick with your nutrition plan and to stick with your training plan. I know this might sound funny, but the Quran is a personal development manual. You can literally use it as that. You'll notice that most of the Quran encourages you with values and aspirations and the afterlife, right? So it's telling you about these noble virtues and values. Look at every story of all of the prophets and assume that the morals of those stories, forbearance, forgiveness, all of these things, assume that they're all encouraging you to be more prophetic by taking the action that you know you're meant to take in your life. In this case, praying 5 times a day. All of a sudden, you'll have this literally eternal source of inspiration and encouragement. You'll enjoy reading the Quran more because it's going to be a surprise as to what insight you'll get if you think about the outcome it's telling me to achieve is pray 5 times a day. And now you're reading it and every indication it's giving you, every encouragement, every warning, every time it talks about the ego, assume it's the ego that's trying to make you slip up and miss your prayers or sabotage you and beat yourself up for not making a prayer. Do that with every verse of the Quran as you read in your normal daily reading. And you'll find that the Quran becomes the only motivation and the only inspiration you ever need to achieve the big goals you have in life. Now, you use this in combination with, for example, the 40-day challenge that we gave in a previous video. Use it in combination with blocking time, with keeping track, with your ticking the boxes. Use a few of the different methods that you've received And I'm telling you, it's almost going to be impossible that you don't continue praying 5 times a day. And again, feel free to start with 1 and build up to 2 and 3 and then eventually 5 prayers. Until the next video, if you want more of these tips and more of these daily downloads, click the next video right over there. And if you want to connect more deeply with Allah, become the best version of yourself, and improve all of your relationships through improving the ultimate relationship with Allah, filling yourself with divine love so you can give it to all those around you. If you want all of that for yourself, check out the Switch Masterclass. Go to mamoonyusuf.com/switch. Until next time, may the peace, love, and blessings of Allah be with you always.